This might be one of the craziest NBA offseasons, and it's just getting started. And even though we are still in the middle of the NBA Finals, there have been a ton of trade rumors surrounding some of the league's biggest stars, and we even got a blockbuster trade out of nowhere over the weekend. And it's looking like this offseason will have it all, so let's jump into it. So we just got a blockbuster trade over the weekend as the Memphis Grizzlies and Orlando Magic agreed on a trade to send Desmond Bane to Orlando in exchange for Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Cole Anthony, and 5 first-round picks, which includes the Magic's number 16 pick in the upcoming 2025 NBA Draft. This trade is a massive swing by the Orlando Magic to try and help them compete in a seemingly wide-open Eastern Conference next season. And the move makes it clear that the Magic franchise is taking an aggressive win-now approach as they add Desmond Bane to their core of Paolo Banchero, Franz Wagner, and Jalen Suggs, who are all going to be under contract for the foreseeable future. And Bane seems to be a perfect fit for the Magic's young and improving roster and brings exactly what they need. The Magic ranked dead last in three-point percentage and catch-and-shoot threes last season, and Bane will be a major boost for Orlando in this department, as he shot over 40% from beyond the arc since entering the league in 2020. But for the Grizzlies, it was an opportunity that was just too good to pass up on. A few days ago, the Grizzlies were a team that looked like they might be heading in the wrong direction, but now they have more tradable first-round picks than almost any other team in the league. And the flexibility that brings will give Memphis multiple options to reset their roster around Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. and helps them clear up some much-needed cap space to sign Jackson Jr. to a new contract extension here soon. And they're also bringing in 2 role players in Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and Cole Anthony that can help contribute right away for this Memphis franchise. But the biggest question this offseason has to be where Kevin Durant is going to end up next season. Because at this point, it's not a matter of if, but when Kevin Durant is getting traded from the Phoenix Suns. After nearly trading Durant at the trade deadline last season, the Phoenix Suns seem to be nearing a new destination for KD, with the draft quickly approaching. Originally, there were 5 teams interested in a trade for Durant, and those were the Rockets, Spurs, Timberwolves, Heat, and Knicks. But it seems like in the past couple of days, the trade talks have been focused on 3 specific destinations, which are Houston, Miami, and San Antonio, and all of which are preferred landing spots for Kevin Durant and a franchise where he would commit to signing long-term, as he does only have 1 more year on his contract. However, it doesn't seem like the Suns are all too excited with what these teams have been offering so far, and Phoenix reportedly isn't committed to trading Kevin Durant to one of his preferred landing spots. And with this, teams like the Clippers and the Raptors, who are reportedly willing to include the 9th pick in the 2025 NBA Draft, and even RJ Barrett, Emmanuel Quickley, or Jakob Poeltl in a trade that would bring Durant to Toronto, seem to be jumping into the Kevin Durant sweepstakes. And on top of all of this, Shams has even reported that a trade could happen before the NBA Draft and within the next few days, which would have ripple effects throughout the entire league. But Kevin Durant isn't the only superstar that has been included in trade rumors for the upcoming offseason, as Bucks superstar Giannis Antetokounmpo has been linked to plenty as well. And in the midst of all of these rumors, Giannis has been spending his time in Brazil this offseason, while NBA insiders and fans have been speculating on his future in Milwaukee. Antetokounmpo is currently on a 3-year, $175 million contract with the Bucks through the 2027-2028 season. But with the injury to Damian Lillard and the Milwaukee Bucks seemingly being on a downward trajectory, the speculation about Giannis Antetokounmpo potentially requesting a trade in the coming months makes sense. And it doesn't help that Milwaukee's best pitch to Antetokounmpo to stay is to remind him that the path to the NBA Finals is much clearer in the Eastern Conference than it is in the Western Conference, even with the Bucks seemingly having to take a gap year next season with Dame being out and the rest of the roster providing little help for Giannis. However, Antetokounmpo might have just made his strongest statement yet about his future with the Bucks, as he reportedly told a local Brazilian news outlet, Coast to Coast Brazil, that he hopes to get back to the NBA Finals soon with Milwaukee specifically. And it seems like this is being backed up by multiple NBA insiders, as it's been reported that the common belief in the league is that Giannis Antetokounmpo will remain with the Milwaukee Bucks this offseason, despite all of these recent rumors. But one of the more intriguing names to enter free agency this summer is Warriors forward Jonathan Kuminga, who will enter the offseason as a restricted free agent with Golden State. Kuminga's role with the Warriors fluctuated a ton this past season, as he went from coming off the bench to not playing at all to then averaging 20 plus points in the second round of the NBA playoffs. And it seems like he's looking for an expanded and consistent role moving forward, so his future in Golden State is uncertain to say the least. And the Chicago Bulls and the Miami Heat are reportedly two teams to monitor as a potential sign-and-trade candidates for Kuminga if he were to become available. With the Bulls, the Warriors have previously expressed interest in center Nikola Vucevic, who could provide valuable scoring and rebounding as a big and would fit into Golden State's win-now mindset. And with Chicago's young core, Kuminga could fit their timeline nicely, as he is just 22 years old and has shown some flashes, especially in the postseason when Steph Curry was out with an injury. And for Miami, it seems like they have prioritized their pursuit of Kevin Durant, but if they end up missing out on KD, Kuminga looks to be on the list as a backup plan for them to try and acquire. But the Warriors still have not ruled out the possibility of retaining Kuminga this offseason, and some other NBA insiders think that's the most likely outcome. And one of the most shocking updates of the offseason so far has been that just 3 days after the Knicks were eliminated by the Indiana Pacers in the NBA playoffs, New York decided to fire their head coach Tom Thibodeau. This past season, the New York Knicks made it to their first Eastern Conference Finals appearance in 25 years, and Tom Thibodeau helped lead New York to back-to-back 50-plus win seasons for the first time since the 1990s, but the decision to replace Thibodeau had reportedly been trending in that direction for months. But now, the New York Knicks are facing challenges in their search for a new head coach, as multiple NBA teams have denied New York permission to interview their current coaches, including Jason Kidd from the Mavericks, Ime Udoka from the Rockets, Chris Finch from the Timberwolves, and Quinn Snyder from the Hawks. Kidd helped lead the Dallas Mavericks to the NBA Finals in 2024, and Ime Udoka and Chris Finch are both coming off of strong seasons this year, which makes their team denials unsurprising. But another popular name with connections to multiple Knicks players was Jay Wright, who also declined interest in the job. And with limited access to some of the top active coaches, the Knicks are now turning their attention to former head coaches Mike Brown and Taylor Jenkins, and have scheduled interviews with both of them for next week. Brown won Coach of the Year back in 2023 and helped revitalize the Sacramento Kings franchise while he was there, and Jenkins coached the Memphis Grizzlies from 2019 to 2024 and made 3 playoff appearances during his tenure. And these interviews only mark the beginning of formal talks between the Knicks and the two coaches, as more candidates will potentially be in the mix as the Knicks look to find a proven leader to build on last season's playoff success. But this NBA offseason is going to be absolutely insane, with even more trades and free agent signings, and I'm excited to see how it all plays out. Let me know in the comments what you think is going to happen in the upcoming NBA offseason, and where do you think Kevin Durant is going to end up? Also, make sure to check out my 2025 NBA mock draft, and I'll be dropping an updated one here soon. But if you enjoyed the content, please drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.